Now, your 21Alive First Alert forecast.
Temperatures this morning are relatively on the warm side. You can see pretty much everybody across 21 country is sitting in the upper 50s and low 60s. We're at 62 here in the Summit City, 59 in Portland, and 59 for our friends up in Angola. We've got a bit of a sticky situation in terms of the weather as we get into the afternoon. You can see a lot of rain and thunderstorms in Iowa and Illinois. They're basically riding along this stationary front. It's not going to move a whole lot north and south, but it will start to drift into our area as the low pressure moves to the east. So this stationary front not only is going to be the focal point of the thunderstorm action this afternoon, it's also going to be the focal point or the dividing line between where we see the warm air and the cool air set up. So as we get into the afternoon, the round of storms that move through, they pose a low-level risk for severe storms, especially to the south of Fort Wayne. We're talking a level 1 of 5 risk. What are the impacts potentially? Well, most likely going to be strong wind if a severe thunderstorm develops, but like I mentioned, that's relatively on the low side. So let's walk through future track together here throughout the day. We're dry this morning and should be mostly dry at your lunchtime, about the noon hour. But you can see off to the west, the rain and thunderstorms starting to pop up. By about 2 o'clock, they're here in the Summit City. But they're clearing the area by about 4 or 5 o'clock already. So by maybe 4 p.m., Paulding, Ohio, Defiance, Van Wert, you're dealing with the storms at that time. And then just a few scattered to isolated rain showers on Monday evening before we see dry conditions return for your Tuesday. And Tuesday afternoon actually could feature quite a bit of sunshine. So dry conditions are expected for your Tuesday, and that's going to continue into Wednesday and Thursday as well. But as we look towards the end of the week, Friday, it looks like now we're going to be dealing with the rain and thunderstorms, and that trend looks actually like it's going to continue into the weekend. Here's what temperatures look like for today. Like I mentioned, that stationary front just going to drift a little bit north, a little bit south. That's going to be the dividing line between where we see the warm air and the cold air set up. I think places Fort Wayne and to the south, we'll see highs in the low to mid 70s. But to the north of Fort Wayne, you can see Angola forecasted maybe 65 for that high today. So some of us not reaching that 70-degree mark. And then Tuesday, a lot of us could be on the cooler side. High temperatures on Tuesday afternoon actually look like they'll hover around that 70-degree mark for a lot of us, but some places won't get out of the 60s on Tuesday, but the heat will eventually return. So that's the good news. You can see all the red pouring on top of us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into Saturday. We're hanging on to the above average temperatures as we get into next weekend, but next weekend actually kind of looks like it's a soggy one. The first Fort Wayne FC match might be dealing with some rain and thunderstorms on Saturday, as too is the case for Mother's Day. So that's certainly not the thing you want to see for a weekend outlook, but we're still 6 to 7 days away, so we know things might shift around. But having been here since Saturday afternoon and looking at the weather model trends, everything has sort of come together to show that next weekend could potentially be a soggy one.
Bummer.
I know. Well, Caleb, we appreciate your honesty.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Coming up next on 21